Welcome to another episode of the Oquendo Franchise Pod. My name is Jorge Oquendo, and I'm a franchise consultant with the Franchise Consulting Company and the Oquendo Consulting Group. Our guest today is part owner of All Dogs Unleashed, a franchise that specializes in dog training and dog sitting. If you're curious about what a pet franchise can do, stay tuned because we're going to dive in.
Yeah, my name is Brian Claeys. I'm the co-founder of All Dogs Unleashed. It was myself and my business partner, Travis Lux, back in 2007. Just two younger guys. I think we were 27 at the time, and he was doing roofing with his uncle, and I was working at Gateway Computers as a sales manager. And we saw my buddies have a successful dog training business. We're like, man, that would be awesome, dude, you know? So we went out and met with Sit Mean Sit, Fred Hassan. And luckily for us now, he didn't have any territories available in our area. Otherwise, maybe it would have been Sit Mean Sit.
Yeah.
But we ended up creating our own brand, All Dogs Unleashed, and we worked our tails off, grew it, and now we have 16 current owners, 5 of which were actually our trainers that went off and started their own All Dogs Unleashed, which is really cool to see that growth from within. And we're just continuing to grow. We own 3 of our own locations as well. We just opened up Shreveport, Oklahoma City this last year, and Dallas is our Carrollton locations are kind of our mothership location.
So, it was a while ago that you guys came up with this idea. Was this something that you always wanted to do, or was you just saw it and you're like, oh, this will be something good to do? Or
growing up, I had no idea that people could make money training dogs for a living. I mean, who would have thought, right? And not just like, you know, like you want to be able to make enough to support your family and still enjoy what you do. Man, what a blessing it's been, though.
Sure. And let me ask you something. So, besides training, do you guys do something else, or can you explain a bit of how your training might be a bit different than other companies?
Yeah, so the big thing is when we first started training dogs, that's all we were doing is doing like a board and train out of our house. We were just 2 young guys starting a business. Mm-hmm. And then we quickly realized, because we were partnering up with other boarding facilities to house some of our extra dogs that we have, and we're running around everywhere, training them at our house, training them at the facility. So we finally decided to step it up and get our own facility, which gave me a little bit more of a normal lifestyle after that. But then once we had this big facility, we started offering other services, and we found out really quickly that these customers that we train their dogs always come back to board now, because now we've created this relationship with them where they're a customer for life, you know, especially when you do a good job on the training. They do boarding, they do daycare, they do refresh training when they're on these trips, and it's just a great thing.
Nice.
And sometimes we see these guys. I've trained one guy's 5 of his dogs over the last 12 years.
So yeah, so I guess like once you do a good job for the first one, when they start getting more dogs, for sure they're gonna keep using you for sure.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's all about customer service, and they'll be loyal to you. Do a good job for them, take care of them. It's super important to us.
And let me ask you something, because I know after COVID, a lot of people started getting dogs. So have you seen any difference after COVID with your business that has grown, or how is it doing differently than back in the day?
Yeah, so we were already pre-COVID, we were already very fortunate. I think when we moved into this building, the first year we hit like $2.1 million in revenue, which was huge for us. But then COVID hit, right? And the phone stops ringing, the world's not moving. We're like, what's going to happen? And we get the announcement on the news like 3 weeks into COVID that we as a pet business are considered essential, because there's doctors that need to go to work, and they need to take care. There's people traveling for emergency services, these types of things. So we were able to stay open, and a lot of boarding and daycare places were getting crushed. Well, guess what? Our boarding business was next to nothing. Our daycare business was next to nothing. We were just in the same boat there as everybody else. But our training went through the roof, man. Like, people were getting dogs. They were home all day with them. They realized they needed help. We grew the year of COVID from 2.1 million to 2.7 million.
Wow.
So we were like blown away. And then from there, it's just continued to grow. And all of our locations had record-setting years that year too. So that was super cool.
That's cool. And let me ask you something. What's your, like, I'm assuming it's people with dogs, of course, people with pets. But what type of customers you guys look for? Like, do they need to be there training their dogs with you, or they can just leave in there? Like, what type of customers do you normally like to work with?
Yeah, so we like to work with everybody. We want the dog to be at least 4 months old before we start the training. And then we offer two services, which keeps it really simple for our customers. We either do in-home training where we can either come to the house and work directly with you and the dog, or we do a 2 week boot camp where they live with us for a couple of weeks. We train them, we lay a really strong foundation, and then we train the owner at the end how to continue to be successful. And then the
Nice.
one thing that our customers love the most is we do a couple things actually. We do lifetime follow up. So if they ever need help, they can call us. We do
Cool.
one-on-one lessons here at the kennel for the life of the dog. We are here to help them. We want them to be successful. The other thing that we do, because a lot of people are in disbelief when it comes to the training, is we do a
Yeah.
guarantee where you just pay half the day you start, the other half at the end when you can actually see it for yourself. So it's
Oh,
kind
that's
of
nice.
like, how could they pass that up? Because they can feel really confident that when they come to pick up the dog, they're going to see a huge change.
No, for sure. It's it also puts a lot of pressure on you, meaning that you need to be able to make sure that this stuff is
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
trained
We
before
call
they
that
come.
we call that passing the red face test. But the great thing about our system is it works on 95% of dogs. So sure, you're going to
Nice.
have one-off dogs that are a little bit more challenging, or maybe the dog needs an extra week of training, or maybe the dog's just too serious of a case where it's just not the best fit for this program. But those are so few and far between.
Yeah, most dogs are good boys, good girls.
Yeah, yeah, easy, happy, confident, social, easy dog to train. And with the system, it makes it easy for the customer to follow through at the end.
For sure. And the most important thing, not the most important thing, but one of the main reasons why we're here is because we want to meet people that want to invest. What type of franchisees are you looking for? What type of personality, or experience are you looking for in someone that can come purchase a franchise and not only just have a franchise, but help you grow your business together?
Yeah, so as far as the type of person that we're looking for, that ranges too. I mean, we have anywhere from, a younger Tony down in Tampa who's decided not to go to college and do this instead, and it's been the best decision they ever made.
Yeah.
Or we have like a guy who went to high school, he quit being an electrician of 15 years to start his own business in Minneapolis, and he's crushing it. He's about to hit $1 million
Nice.
this year, which is super
Wow.
exciting. So it really is anybody. But the one thing, qualities that you have to have is you have to be people oriented. If it wasn't for the dogs, it wasn't for the people, we wouldn't be in business. So that's number one, right?
Hmm.
And then work ethic. When I first started this business, I worked a lot at the beginning of it, but now I'm able to enjoy that because I have a team in place. I have a director in place that are able to
Yeah.
run our kennel where we could still make a really good living and just be here engaged and have the right people in place to make sure it runs and smoothly and operates smoothly.
Perfect. And important, the investment, of course, like we want to make sure just whatever you're comfortable with. How much would be the investment if somebody's interested, or not only the franchise fee, but also how much will they need to be able to start to do the franchise? Now, I know before you answer this, I know that one of the things that we were talking a few days ago was that you're looking for also people that already have business set up, that they take care of dogs, that they want to incorporate the training aspect that you guys can provide. So how much will that be, and how much will be the investment cost for our listeners?
Yeah, so we have different, I guess, people that might want to invest in it, and they're going to be in different situations. So,
Hmm.
one of our investors, my cousin Aaron, he got into it. He purchased a ranch style property. He spent about 700 grand. Now, keep in mind, it's also a house that he can operate his business off and live off of. So he has an asset that he's going to get a keep. Last year, he did around 1.15 million. The year before that, 1.2 million, just off of personal property. The franchise fee being 49,650, something like that. The
Hmm.
additional costs that we're spending is mostly marketing, crates, collars, pretty simple stuff, not heavy expenses. But we've seen anywhere from, somebody spending $100,000, $75,000 to get started to somebody spending, the one we just did in Shreveport was closer to 700,000, but it has all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
And guess what? This summer we had 2 months where we crushed it and we started recouping some big
Yeah.
bucks. So, uh, and the cool thing about the dog industry too is you get it while it's hot. These summer months you're going to do really well, but because the training is such a big ticket item, all through the year we're having steady revenues.
Nice. So and again, like Even the training one, if I just want to have the training part of it, can I do that too, or I need to have the whole?
Yeah, no. So you can do like a home-based business.
Mhm.
If you already have a dog kennel and you're doing like boarding and daycare, and maybe even training, but not a high-level training, you can just add the training aspect to it. And that's a really low-cost startup because you're just adding training. So
Mhm.
for instance, the guy that does Omaha, he was just doing training home-based, but then he got his first kennel and he went from $450,000 in revenue to 1.2 million in just 1 year
Yeah, that's
off just
helpful.
making that one change to having the facility. And 85% of the revenue dollars that came into his business were training based. So if you're not doing training and you're an existing boarding and daycare, you're really missing out. And we definitely have the system to show people how to make money in that aspect of it. Now, if you're looking to get the whole kennel set up and start from scratch, that's where it's going to be the bigger ticket item. That's the one where we spent, $650 down in Shreveport, setting it up from scratch. In
Mhm.
that one, we actually operate from Dallas. We have staff in place. So a lot of people will ask, is this a business that I can not have to be there all the time? Absolutely, it is, but you better hope that you have the right people in place and we can help you
Good
find that
management.
avatar,
Mhm.
that person that you're looking for. Because the one thing with us is we try to think of the best businesses out there like Chick-fil-A, and we want to be the Chick-fil-A of the dog training industry, offering, Disneyfy every experience with the customer. So every time they actually contact with us, they have a good experience, and then going above and beyond on the back end if they ever need help in the future.
Okay. And lastly, this is the last question. I'm just curious about how, because you guys been on business for a long time. How has that changed you? How has being a franchisor, starting from your business, being a franchisor, how does that change you? And how has that been able to help you help other entrepreneurs start their business?
Yeah, so when we first started off, I was a dog trainer, and then we got our first kennel, and then I'm a kennel manager, and I'm doing shifts and cleaning, you know, and then now just to be kind of like a director down here where I overlook and see things and focus more on helping the other people grow and create their own businesses as we add a couple more too.
Yeah.
That's more fun to me, like I trained dogs for 10 years and I worked with a lot of dogs, but now actually getting to train with the trainers is really cool. And then also getting to see, like the 5 trainers that worked here go off and start their own business and be successful. That's super cool, man. It
Yeah,
changes
for
the
sure.
course of their life. A lot of our growth was kind of done internally. We just franchised in 2021. A lot of ours were just licensee agreements before that we converted
Mhm.
over to franchisees. But having everybody be a part of the brand, my little brother works here, my nephew works here, a couple of Travis's uncles have all dogs on leash, his nephew. It's just a really cool thing, and we're very blessed and grateful to be in this pet industry because before this, I was sitting in a cubicle, and it was
Sure.
terrible. Now it's bright and sunny out here. We're out here training dogs. I'm going to hang out for a couple hours, see my little brother, chat with my nephew, and dip out and go to the gym and go hang out.
Yeah. No, and you get to play with dogs, which is
Dude,
fun.
yeah, there's a little French bulldog here right now that's just ridiculous.
Nice. Well, Brian, thank you so much for your time. Let us know tell the people where can they find more information about Old Dogs Unleashed and see if they want to know more about you guys. Of course,
Yeah, so if you wanted to reach out to
besides
me, you
sending
could,
me a message, I can get you in touch
yeah,
with them.
call George. George has 24-hour access to me, so he's your guy. But we're located in Carrollton, Texas. Again, our locations that I own is Carrollton, Shreveport, and Oklahoma City. And then we have 16 other ones throughout the U.S. But you can reach out to me. My name is Brian Claeys, and my email address is real simple because it's brianclays@me.com.
Nice.
Or like I said, just reach out to you and set up a call to gladly chat with anybody about the business. And if they even wanted to come out here, the ones that have signed up, we've had a couple people come out here and they both opened up locations. It's a beautiful thing that we have going here. Operates extremely well, and does very well for our families too. So we really are grateful to be in the business.
Awesome. Well, Brian, thank you so much for your time and have a good day. Bye bye.
Hey,